know well, if it isn't one thing, it's another, right? In the PMP universe. Yeah, look at Tony. We're back. Woohoo! We're back.
Dude, I was crossing my fingers, Paulie. I was literally crossing my fingers as the show intro was playing. I'm like, please launch. But we're back.
Yeah.
StreamYard gave us a run for our money yesterday. Thank you to all of you who joined us on Strictly YouTube yesterday. That was so freaking rad. That was our first little dive into the YouTube scene. And Paulie, you knocked it out. You got funky. I rewatched last night. You got funky. You were doing some like drone footage.
I was getting my Scorsese on. You know what I mean? I was getting my Tarantino. I was trying different filmmaking options. But dude,
I have sound real quick of Paulie right when the show wouldn't launch yesterday. I have sound.
Son of bitch, shit.
And then that was the comment board answering back. One more time, Paulie Mack in a frazzle. Tony, StreamYard isn't launching. I got to talk to the audience. Go.
Son of bitch, shit.
I know, listen, sometimes I have the sense of humor of a third grader. You got to roll with it sometimes, you guys. But anyway, we're very happy to be back. You know what's, I got to say this because usually.
Sorry, dude. Right out of the gates, people are asking for. Scott Saunders wants to know right out of the gates: is Satan back? Did Satan make it back to the show? Because he was not there. Is Satan back? I believe he is.
I'm afraid.
No, I believe. Let's go. Let's go to Lucifer. Come on.
I mean, after all, it is Friday the 13th, y'all.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Don't think we're not going to be shouting out Jason Voorhees, Crystal Lake, the whole damn thing. We're going to run the gamut. Satan's back, y'all.
Hey, Satan, I'm so glad. And welcome back to Camp Blood on Friday the 13th with Jason Voorhees.
I just got one last thing to say. F the Dodgers, F Dodger Stadium, F Yamamoto, all of them. Double gun to the Dodgers. Let's go, Giants. Huh.
I didn't know Satan was a Giants fan, but apparently he is. Okay, Tony, we got a lot to get to today and a short time to get there. So we're gonna rock, we're gonna roll, we're gonna do all our stuff. Metallica tickets, we're gonna give them away later. And big announcement: the first Metallica. I was just talking to Tony before the show. I'm like, oh, by the way, there's a Metallica show next Friday. We better hurry up with these damn tickets. So we're gonna give it. We'll give a pair away today, and then we will give the final pair of Metallica tickets away on Monday. So be ready. Oh. Yeah. We're going to go right back into it. There's no time to waste. And then you got to set. And again, if you're new to the show or you're new to the contest, what we're doing is we're going to quote some Metallica lyrics. You tell me the name of the song I'm quoting from, and then just mail your answers to the show email address. And I need your name, your phone number, your address, and your email. And then I'm going to pass all that stuff along to the Metallica people next week. And your tickets will be a will call. So we're going to get to that now because the show crashed yesterday. Wait a minute, Patty from Napa. This is from Johnny M visiting us in Tahoe. He's a music head, a Yankee fan, and a Jets fan. Jets, Jets. Okay, thank you very much, Johnny M. I appreciate that. Patty, have a great time up in Tahoe. I wanted to say, Tony, and thank you, Patty, always. And Johnny, rock and roll.
Patty's friend, Johnny M, is probably excited they don't have to hear this anymore. You know,
I wonder if her friend Johnny M is the ghost of Johnny Most, the old broadcaster for the Boston Celtics. That Kurt Rambis has the basketball. Oh my God! Kurt Rambis pulls a knife on McHale. I mean, dude, he was the most homer broadcaster of all time, but a legend, Johnny Most. All right, anyway, Tony. We are going to have Scott Ostler join us today. We'll talk about the NBA Finals. Yeah. I do want to get set up for the Giants-Dodgers series. Logan Webb on the hill. Bro, this is all you can ask for, dude. This is going to be great. Giants one game back. Let's just take over. Let's just take it, dude. Let's charge that hill, plant the Giants flag, and let's just take first place. This is the chance. But because the show went down yesterday, we have some catching up to do, and we are going to give all three sponsors some love today, and we're going to spread them out throughout the show. So, Low Steve, we'll get to you in a little bit. Dr. Matt Young will get to you in a little bit, but I wanted to start today with Long Bridge Pizza for a specific reason. Because, first of all, I told you about my double shot at Longbridge this week. I was there Tuesday, I was there Wednesday, and now I'm here to talk to you about it on Friday. Longbridge Pizza, the Vibe Tribe, rocking and rolling and going strong. I brought my mom in on Wednesday. I talked about how much she loved Neil Donardi's tomato sauce that he puts on the pizza, and then he gives you that side dish. When you order a chicken parm sandwich, he'll give you a little extra sauce to dunk. And my mom was like, ask Neil if he sells this tomato sauce. Yeah, there's my mom and I. That's from Wednesday. She had the pesto pizza. There's my chicken parm. I'm working on it right there. And Neil, I'm just telling you, I second that. My mom wants a tomato sauce. I want the tomato sauce. If you ever jar it and sell it, you got 2 customers right here. But also big doings in the Longbridge Pizza community, or should I say the Longbridge Pizza family. It's a familia, right, Noemi?
Yes.
And I got to say, I wanted to wish Neil's son, Nico, a very happy 7th birthday. Hey, Nico, I love your pizza. I hope you have a great day. I hope your birthday party is killer. I hope you get to blow out the candles and make a wish. We love your dad. We love your dad's food. And I love the Nico pizza myself, Tony. So have a great birthday. Happy birthday to Nico from us to you. Okay, Tony, I'll let you take it from here, buddy.
Absolutely.
Guess what?
What?
I'm giving Nico a sports flash sounder. I'm giving him a birthday air horn as we show some Longbridge pizza porn. I just want to remind everybody that you can order delivery or takeout from Longbridge Pizza, longbridgepizza.com, or give them a call. And then you can also visit them 2347 3rd Street. I prefer you go in and hang, get a nice cold beverage while you're there. You got a bed, you got Gabino in the front, you've got Andre, you've got Steven, you've got Neil. They're all, like you said, it's a family, Paulie, and they will make you feel welcome, not just with the food and the beer, but with the vibe. And so visit Longbridge if you can. I'm taking my Little League All-Star team there next Thursday with the other coaches. We're going to go and we're going to have pizza and lunch at Longbridge, and we're going to go see Giants Guardians on Thursday, and we're looking forward to that. So another point to that is you can have private parties at Longbridge in the back room. You can have bigger groups. They will handle you. And they also, if you're ever interested in like getting Longbridge for catering, give him a call because Neil does catering too. He will come to you. He's got the badass pizza oven that he goes to pop-ups. And like he was doing pop-ups at Bear Bottle. He's doing pop-ups at Brew 382 in South San Francisco. Nice. So kind of they kind of offer anything you need really when it comes to food and beverage and good times and good vibes. So longbridgepizza.com. Happy birthday, Nico. 7th birthday, dude. Oh man, he's just entering the Little League. Like I was telling Neil the other night, man, he's got so many good times to look forward to in Little League because Nico's a little ball player for San Mateo. So I'm looking forward to watching Nico play ball. And go, Nico. Enjoy your birthday. Rock steady all weekend long, buddy.
I want to power rank the Nicos in my world real quick. First, at the top slot, the number 1 power ranking for all Nicos would be Nico Denardi, who's got his 7th birthday today. And then right behind him, Tony, I'm going to go the Velvet Underground with Nico. You know what I mean? They put her name right on the freaking record cover, Velvet Underground with Nico. I guess Nico's here now. So anyway, those are my 2 favorite Nicos. And
get out of here. Sorry about that. I don't know that happened.
It's like
I gotta disconnect my phone to my laptop, I guess. I don't know. But also, I'm gonna amend a Nico. And can I say instead of Rico Suave, it's Nico Suave today on his 7th birthday? Rico
Suave. Dude, he's dropping Spanish all over that song. He's rapping in Spanish. God bless him. Now, Tony, that's Gerardo. Okay,
yes,
that's Gerardo on the street.
Yes.
Okay.
I wish I had the physique of Gerardo, by the way, but
don't we all? Yeah. The complexion, the confidence, the washboard abs. Dude, he never buttoned his shirt. He'd always have and I've been saying this for years. Like Roger Daltrey used to do that back in the 70s. He'd always have his shirt open with the washboard abs. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. Because if I had that physique, I'd never wear a shirt. I'd be sitting here shirtless right now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you guys check out my washboard. I don't have one though, so you ain't gonna see it. That's just my fantasy. Yeah.
Dude, Paulie, Miguel Salas says his dad's name is Rico, so he literally has a Rico Suave in his family. And then John Joseph has the Gerardo album on vinyl. That's respect, dude. Respect.
Oh my God, I have it on CD, but vinyl is a major step, dude. Major step.
Oh my dude. Los D. By the way, Los, we're going to give you some flex funding loving later in the show.
We got you later, Los. Yeah.
Dude. He says he dressed up as Rico Suave for Halloween one year, dude.
That's a great costume. No, it's a great choice. I salute it, man. I totally salute that, Los D. You would make a good Rico Suave. I could actually see that with the bandana. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. Man, so good. Paulie,
yeah.
I saw a comment from Stevie B on the chat, and I couldn't agree more with him that I don't know if we should be excited that the Giants won the series 2 games out of 3 in Colorado and they should have swept the series, or should we be unnerved that they barely won all 3 games?
That's actually a really good question. It is. That's a really interesting way of looking at it. I mean, I'm of the opinion that you just take your wins and get the hell out of there. Again, I'm always uncomfortable in Colorado. I don't care if they're in last place. I don't care if they're in third place. It doesn't matter because everything is so unpredictable in Colorado. So it's a good point. They really had to fight. They had to really fight to get those wins. But I feel pretty good because they got out of there with a couple of wins. They had a good road trip overall. And now, dude, they're positioned. They can act. If they handle their business, they can steal first place from the Dodgers right now, this weekend. So it's set up beautifully. Dude, this morning I was cruising around. I was cruising around Twitter, and I saw somebody posted the Brian Johnson home run back in '98 when he walked out. Yeah. I was at that game with Mikey Verdu. Shout out Mikey V for life. One of the greatest Giant games I've ever seen. And two things struck me. Nothing like Giants Dodgers for drama, intensity, and just like the history. But number two, I got to say, Tony, and you'll understand this. It really made me miss Candlestick Park. There was something about a full house at Candlestick when the seats out in center field were full, like the upper deck above the scoreboard. They throw 58,000 people in there for a Giant game. And that place, the Brian Johnson game, that was one of the loudest roars I've ever been a part of. I was in the upper deck with Mikey Verdu on the first baseline, and I had a really good view of that ball just leaving the yard and the reaction, Tony. So anyway, I put it in bookmarks if we want to get our Dodger Giant kind of blood, flowing later on today. Yeah.
I was showing my son Dom the other day the Gagne Bonds at bat because he has Gagne on one of his relievers on MLB The Show. I'm like, Oh, you have Gagne as one of your relievers.
Gagne is, though. Real quick, sorry to interrupt you, but how would he know? Because that's so far before his time.
That's what's great about MLB The Show, the video game, is that they teach the kids about older players. He had like Roberto Clemente on one of his rosters. Like that game. If I'm going to be a pro video game guy, I'm not going to be pro Fortnite or pro the other stuff. I'm pro MLB The Show because they introduce kids to players from yesteryear that are really, really good ball players. And he did it based on his stats. Like Gagne's stats were really good. And I'm like, oh, tough guy. Why don't I show you a video of Bonds showing Gagne where
calling your son tough guy. Oh, okay, tough guy. Yeah.
He's been starting to call me bro, and I'm like, that is not happening. That's not happening, dude. You are not calling your father bro. Let me
dude, where's my cereal? Hey, bro. Hey, Holmes. Hey, dude, I got to tell you, shout out to the Brady Bunch and Greg Brady when he went through his hippie phase and he moved up to the attic and he had the beads and the fringe and all this. And then he came downstairs for breakfast. I'll never forget this episode. He comes downstairs and he sees his parents. He goes, "Oh, morning, Carol. Morning, Mike." And they're like, "Excuse me? Mom and Dad still works." And he goes, "Well, I didn't think you'd want anybody as old as me calling you mom and dad." Anyway, so morning, Carol. Morning, Mike. Yeah.
Scarlet Fire says her sons call her bro. That's phenomenal. I mean, I do laugh at it because a lot of the times when I ask him to do something, Dom, make your bed, bro. And I'm like, easy, bud.
Bro,
easy.
You Steve Young, you know what I mean? Yeah. Steve Young is like the pro master. Yeah.
Dude, real quick, just to get into some numbers about tonight's matchup, buddy. Dude, Logan Webb 2.58 ERA, Yamamoto 2.20 ERA. The thing that scares me about tonight, dude, Logan Webb's thrown 87 innings. So he's thrown more innings than Yamamoto's 73 innings. But, dude, Yamamoto's only given up 49 hits in his 73 innings.
He's
Webb's given up 84 and 87. But Webb has walked fewer people. In 17 walks in 87 innings, Yamamoto 25 walks in 73 innings. So maybe they got to be a little bit patient at the plate tonight. And then also Webb 101 strikeouts in 87 innings, Yamamoto's 86 in 73. So it's very it's very evenly matched tonight on the mound. I'm really excited to watch this ball game tonight because it's going to be I'm hoping for like a 3-2 ball game where, because these kinds of ball games, man, are when every pitch freaking counts, man. These pitching duels where, one error, one bad throw, one misstep, one missed sign, one pass ball, all that stuff matters so greatly in matchups like these. I'm really excited for tonight, P.
You remember, of course you do, but I'm thinking about your point. Like if this is going to be all pitching, no hitting this weekend, you remember that there was such an oddity. I think it was 2016 Giants at LA. And do you remember those two games back to back where the Giants won 1-0, both on Joe Panik home runs.
Yep.
And that was the first time in baseball history consecutive games against the same two teams have been decided by 1-0 scores, all at the hands of the same guy. Shout out Joe Panik. He was a good Giant, man. I enjoyed Joe Panik at second base. He was really sound defensively, a really good dude. Played ball at St. John's. Like
Dude, one of the greatest plays in Giants history, Game 7 World Series, the diving play, the double play with Brandon Crawford. I mean, one of the greatest plays in Giants history. And I'll never forget being inside the double play bar in San Francisco, watching that game with my dad and John Stevens, a dear buddy, a mutual friend of me and Paulie's. And inside the double play, while they're reviewing the double play, the whole crowd starts chanting double play. So it was the vibes were thick inside the bar, the double play. By the way, that place is boarded up now. So, it's gone. I mean, I don't know if anybody
when I drive by there and I see the boards and everything, it is so depressing. I mean, that was a great San Francisco landmark, a great place to hang out. Tony and I used to hang there a lot, go eat lunch and have a couple of beers. Really a cool spot. Anyway, so we're looking forward to that. Also, dude, don't forget Game 4 of the NBA Finals tonight. We're going to take a deeper dive into that with Scott Ostler in about 15 minutes. But I'm very much looking forward to this because it's incredible to me that the Pacers are now in the driver's seat. I mean, they win tonight. OKC is in deep trouble. I don't think
your Pacers are in the driver's seat. Paulie's Pacers are in the driver's seat. Yeah. Paulie's Pacers.
Apparently.
I saw a stat, dude, that Halliburton has not attempted a free throw yet this series in 3 games. That's pretty wild, man, that he has not taken a free throw and they're ahead 2-1. You would expect that he would have gone to the line a bunch in the first few games, but no, has not attempted a free throw yet. So, and Caitlin Clark, when Caitlin Clark is in the house this postseason, the Pacers are 8-0. So, I don't know if she can be there tonight. I don't know what her WNBA schedule is, but when she's in the house, they're 8-0. So those are a couple of interesting factoids, but I'm sure Halliburton's dad will be there as well. So who
I got
knows
to tell you, just to be fair to Halliburton, I think he has one of the greatest floaters I've seen. Like it's almost Steph Curry. Like when he kind of drives, stops around the free throw line and just kind of launches that little teardrop floater. 9 times out of 10 they go in. And I got to tip my cap. He shoots a really sweet floater with just the right shot. Hey, one other loose end too, real quick, Tony. I do want to shout out the Stanley Cup Finals. If any of you hockey heads are watching this, you are getting entertained beyond belief. Shout out Russell Crowe. Are you not entertained? I'm entertained as hell. Last night, Edmonton, Tony, they're down 3-0. They come roaring back, tie the game. They go into overtime again, dude. Again for the third time in the series. And Edmonton wins 5-4. That thing is now tied up 2-2. They go back to Edmonton for Game 5. It's been really an exciting series. 3 overtime games in the finals. That's pretty rare. So anyway, I don't know how many of you are into it, but I am. Yeah, old-time hockey, Dom, 100%. And I'm enjoying the finals. Yeah, like Eddie Shore. All right, Tony. And then other things on the calendar today. You said you wanted to talk Friday the 13th, so I'm going to let you take that. Go ahead.
Wow, dude, first of all, I want to tell people that Caitlin Clark is back tomorrow for the Fever, so she probably will be in the house tonight. If you're for Paulie's Pacers, she'll be in the house. So, and then Friday the 13th, dude, adopt it. Just to say, accept it, Paulie. You and Reggie Miller, buddy. It's all good. And then,
you can't have one without the other. Me, Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller, Detlef Schrempf. Throw him in the mix. It's me and Detlef, Tony. Me and Detlef. Yeah. Dude. I want to meet the guy just so I can be like, hey, Mom, is it okay if Detlef comes over? Me and Detlef are looking for something to eat. Stuff like that.
Dude. Or how about, hey, Mom, Schrempf's coming over.
Mom, are you cool? We're going to go to the Shrimps for dinner tonight. It's a potluck, so bring something. Yeah. And who are the Shrimps? Well, that's my boy Detlef's family.
Detlef, dude. That's such a great name. Such a great name. And yes, Sanchi, I see his comment. He says, wait, Tony showing B-Craw some love. Yes, I'll give B-Craw defensive love all damn day. And I'll tell you what, I'll take B-Craw's bat right now over Adames all damn day too.
So would I, brother. He hit 100 home runs at least in his career, even though you poo-pooed that. Yeah, no, Tony, we break Tony's balls. I believe deep down underneath all the bravado and the rough exterior of a creative Tony, I think there's some love for B-Craw. And by the way, Brandon Crawford, if you ever have like a conversation with him, maybe the sweetest human being you'll ever come across. And he kind of talks like this, like he doesn't really talk very loud. It's like, what'd you say, Brandon? No, I feel good. No, I'm psyched to be a Giant. Like he's always in hushed tones, but what a great ball player and a great Giant, Tony. I
remember trying to get B. Craw to do some liners for, hey, this is Brandon Crawford. You're listening to Giants baseball on KMBR. Hey, it's Brandon Crawford. You're listening to Murph and Mac. Paulie Mac, Brian Murphy, blah. And he would read them just like that. Like, hey, this is Brandon Crawford. You're listening to Murphy Mac.
Yeah, totally.
Hey, Brandon, can you kind of like spice it up a little bit? Can you give me a little more energy? Maybe like, hey, it's Brandon Crawford. And it's like, okay, that's just how you're going to be. And I told him, I said, Brandon, I don't know if these are ever going to make the airwaves, dude, because they're so monotone. He goes, I don't care. And they don't care. Obviously, they're there to play ball. But then you get guys who really had fun with it and who were a lot of fun, like Timmy Lincecum and Madison Bumgarner. They had a lot of fun with those liners. When Madison Bumgarner said, what do you say? He said, Mad Bum, Bumgarner, whatever you want to call me, just give me the fucking ball. And that was,
look at this.
Oh, yes.
We just had a big meeting before the show how we committed to not cursing anymore. This kid's out here dropping F-bombs now. And I realize I'm going to get loose myself, but we got to try to tighten that up. We got a lot of eyes on the show right now, so we got to make sure we're good little boys and girls.
I was quoting Bumgarner. Because that F-bomb was not in the script.
If Bumgarner jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge, would you follow him? You know what I'm saying?
Probably. I'd go for a nice dive, as long as I just watched how
Bumgarner said it was okay. Like Mad Bum told me, yeah, I probably would. Be like, come on, man, we're gonna make this jump. You and me, man. Come on.
Dude, remember the stare down between Bumgarner and I forget the plate umpire, Joe West.
Yeah. Phenomenal. Went on for, I think it's like 13, 14 seconds long. They just like the OK Corral, dude. Nobody moves. I miss Bumgarner, dude. I miss his salt. I miss the attitude. I miss the big frame out there. Hey, Bum, we freaking love you, dude. You talk about forever Giant. That guy hand delivered the third World Series trophy to San Francisco. Thank you, Bum.
Paulie, from one high to a low, or before the show, I just wanted to check up on Matt Chapman's status. And according to the quote unquote AI overview of Google, Matt Chapman is on the 10-day injured list, but Chapman is expected to miss more than the minimum 10 days and hopes to return before the end of the first half, potentially by July 13th, according to NBC Sports Bay Area. So
is that a Friday as well, Tony? July 13th?
No, it's not. It's let's see, that is a Sunday.
Jesus, or a Monday. Top of your head. It's not bad.
Well, because I know the 17th is a baseball tournament for my kids, so that's why I understand. Yeah, you understand. But so get used to Chapman being gone for longer than the 10 days, which is
hold on. I gotta hand out a great comedy award. When I see great comedy, it needs to be acknowledged. Mark Graves, dude, gravy in the house, dropping jokes. The Giants are missing Mad Bum's bat right now, dude.
That's awesome.
100%. He was a better hitter than Adames. That's all I know. Bum could hit the power. He could pull it. He could do it all, man. Hey, Adames, watch some film on Bum swinging the bat and maybe learn. And that's another thing. See, now I got to start complaining. Dude, when we finally get rid of the ghost runner in baseball, can we please do away with this DH in the National League crap? I freaking hate it. I don't want to hear it.
That's here forever. If there's one thing that's going to be here forever, it's the DH in the National League. I can promise you that. That's here forever.
On that note, let me ask you a question. Do you think guys who are primarily designated hitters in their career are worthy of Hall of Fame induction? They're playing one aspect of the game. That's it.
Yes, because hitting a baseball is arguably the hardest thing to do in all the sports, in my opinion. So I would say yes, Paulie, because it depends on what kind of a bats, what their numbers were, especially the power numbers and clutch numbers and batting average and strikeouts and all that stuff. Like you got to take all that into consideration. But I would say even if you're a DH and you have legit numbers, you are worthy for consideration.
All right. Well, I asked the question, you gave an answer. Hey, I wanted to give you. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't agree. I think that DH.
Really?
Because you're really not playing baseball. You're playing one part of the game. You're doing one thing. Baseball. That's what's great about baseball, dude. You got to play both sides. You got to hit. You got to field. And you eliminate half of that, and suddenly you're qualified to go to the Hall of Fame. I don't know. I just feel weird about that. I'm a National League guy. For real. I'm a National League dude. I've never ever agreed with the designated hitter. Why not have a designated hitter for Adames? You know what I mean? He can't hit. Let him field. You know what I'm saying? Where does it stop?
That's a good question. But on the other side of that coin, Paulie, is you could say that pitchers don't hit anymore. So they're only doing one side of the game, right?
Well,
They're not. Whereas Nolan Ryan, for instance, had to hit. Actually, he was an American leaguer, so that didn't count. I'm thinking about it. Think about a national leaguer that had to hit and had to worry about the offensive part of the game. Like that is something to consider too, because it's a whole different game with the National League when the pitchers hit, because you had double switches, you had pitchers laying down bunts, you had pitchers doing crazy stuff. So I don't know, man. It's an interesting, great conversation, Paul. I didn't see this coming, but
I didn't either. And I want to say too, it's what's more exciting than when Bumgarner would hit a home run. I mean, that was thrilling.
Yeah.
And I got to say, like other great hitting pitchers I can recall in my lifetime, Dwight Gooden, he could hit. Doc hit a bunch of home runs. And dude, I'm going way back in this one, and I'm pretty sure this is accurate, but I'm going to say 1976. It's either 76 or 77. I was a little kid. I remember this. John the Count Montefusco was a pretty good hitter, and I recall he hit a bomb on opening day. He was pitching, and he hit a home run on opening day, either 76 or 77. I remember that. And it was always such a thrill when a pitcher could go yard. Tony, we got Scott Ostler ready to join us in a couple of minutes, so let's do a Dr. Matt Young spot real quick before.
Hold on, Paulie. Before you do that real quick, I want to throw Mark Graves up there. He says he's a new member for the month. Nice, Mark. Welcome aboard, buddy. And also with the pitch clock, games are quicker, so don't need the ghost runner. I completely agree. So maybe get rid of the ghost runner and have a real extra inning ball game where I don't know, you have two teams that have battled their asses off to tie the game and get it to extras, and then it's going to be decided on. They make it, if they put maybe a runner on first, I might consider that, because it's easier to get on first. Baseball makes it seem like, it's just easy to hit a double or to get to second base in baseball.
Why not put a guy on third? Why not put a guy on third? You know what I mean? Let's get out of here. Everybody hates baseball so much. We all want to go home. I object to the whole thing. I hate it all. Gravy, thank you so much, brother. Yeah. Now, Dr. Matt Young, my main, Gravy. That's my guy, Gravy. Shout out to Edmonton Oiler Hall of Famer and New York Ranger Hall of Famer, Adam Blanken Graves, who did some time with the Sharks too. He did a little bit of time with the Sharks at the very end. All right, Young Dental and the Young Dental SF group. They call it a group, Tony, like the Jackson 5, like the Beatles, like the Rolling Stones. Why? Because Dr. Matt Young is like at the center of it, and everybody kind of orbits around him. But it's like Longbridge Pizza. It really is, in that when you go into Dr. Matt Young's office, the entire group are totally professional, totally cool. They make you feel right at home. I have been a patient of Dr. Matt Young for over a decade. He himself has been in business for over 25 years right here in San Francisco. He's at 490 Post Street. And I got to tell you, he offers all kinds of comprehensive dental care, your fillings, your cleanings, your implants. I had a root canal done with him. Didn't feel a thing. Didn't feel a freaking thing. Had my headphones on. If I don't even remember it. Tony, that's the day I tried to steal the glasses. He gave me the big shades to wear because the light was in my face. I'm like, it's so bright. And he goes, well, here, wear these. And then when I was coming to and the anesthesia was wearing off, apparently I asked him if I could leave with the glasses. I'm like, hey, are you cool if I keep these? Kind of a Spicoli. Where'd you get that jacket? It was like a moment like that. And he was like, sure, you can have them. And then when I got home and I started coming back to my senses, I'm like, I know I had a root canal. I don't feel anything. And where did I get these shades? You know what I mean? I had to put the pieces back together. But anyway, no, it's a great team. They're all incredibly friendly, helpful, and accommodating. They accept most major insurance groups. You shouldn't have any problem there. And on top of everything else, just to let you know how deep Dr. Matt Young goes, he is the president of the Academy of Implant Dentistry. So if you are considering like an implant procedure or you've been told you need one, this is your guy. This is your guy. That's his specialty. So get on down there. Creative Tony loves the Saturday hours. I'll let you speak to that as a busy Little League dad. But again, I just can't say enough good things about him. I'm so proud to have him as a sponsor, and very proud to call him a friend as well, Tony.
Heck yeah, I love having Young Dental Group as a sponsor. And Paulie, usually the words come from me about how much we trust Dr. Young, but you know what? I'm going to go to some Yelp reviews to just read how people feel about Dr. Young. This is Chris P in Berkeley says, very personable dentist who hires a great staff that knows what they are doing. I've been going to Young Dental for 2 years, and they've done a great job on my fillings and cleanings. I was never pressured into doing anything extra. And they were very thorough in the payment process. Also, we've got, let me see, Jessica D in San Mateo. Dr. Young is the best dentist I have ever had. The
It's true.
team at Young Dental is so kind and really cares about your experience. 100% recommend. And then one more, I'll give you one more. Dustin in San Francisco. I was very nervous for my first dentist appointment. This is what we talk about, being nervous to go to the dentist. Dustin P in San Francisco says, I was very nervous for my first dentist appointment in 2.5 years. And yesterday was the best experience I've ever had at Young Dental. So that's not me talking. That's not Polly talking. Those are actual people that have, other than us, that have been to Young Dental, and those are their reviews. So I think you trust us, but if you question us, then listen to the Yelp reviews as well.
Yeah, very nice, very well said, Tony, and thank you, Chris P. I agree with everything those reviewers said. He's the man. So go down to Young Dental and enjoy a better dental future. I can promise you that your teeth are going to be whiter, cleaner. You're going to look better. You're going to feel better. Thank you, Dr. Matt Young. Okay, is Scott ready to go, or should we keep rolling?
Yes. No, Scott is ready to go. I'm going to get him onto the show right now, and without further ado, there is Mr. Scott Ostler. There he is.
Hey, good afternoon, Scott. Thanks for joining us, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I think the lighting's not good here. I'm in the witness protection program, so I apologize for that.
No, you know what I say about that, Scott? There's an element of mystique to your presentation. I like that.
What I try to go for.
Yeah.
Also, Scott, you got two former radio guys and a print guy that are all trying to do visual. It's pretty funny. So no worries at all.
Formula for not success. Yeah.
Obviously, Scott's a longtime friend, great writer with the San Francisco Chronicle for a very long time. Before he came to San Francisco, he covered the Showtime Lakers back in the day. So Scott's seen it all. He's done it all. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to have you on today, Scott. Talk a little NBA Finals. I got to tell you, I did not expect what's kind of unfolding before our eyes right now. The fact that the Pacers are up 2-1. I kind of drank the Kool-Aid, the OKC Kool-Aid, and thought, there's no way that nobody can compete with this team. But the one thing I would say, Scott, I feel like when OKC is in a tight game in the fourth quarter, I don't think that's a comfortable place for them. But in a big picture sense, are you surprised at the fact that the Pacers are up 2-1 at this point?
Yeah, I'm surprised. And I'm like you. I've been drinking that OKC Kool-Aid since at least mid-season, maybe before that, where they were the flavor of the year. And just too quick and too athletic and too young and too ready to go and ready to spring out in the world. And so, I bought that. And I also figured, if the Warriors were to wind up facing them in the playoffs, which they came close to doing.
Yeah.
Or they may have, depending on your point of view, that they would have just gotten blown out because it's the old Warriors against these new guys. Now, I think you kind of look at that in a little bit different light, right? That, hey, maybe the Warriors would have had a shot,
Yeah, I agree with that. And again, I'm not so sure the fact that OKC is not really battle tested. I don't think that's serving them well right now. And the other thing I noticed, especially in game 3, Scott, was I was really, really impressed with Indiana's defense, just collectively as a team. I thought they swarmed. They were all over the loose balls. They forced a lot of tone. They basically did all the things Oklahoma City has been doing all year long. They kind of turned the tables on them. And I guess the question would be, is that a critical ingredient to climbing the mountaintop for Indiana? Playing team defense, is that maybe the most important element of their game right now?
Yeah, I would say it is. And that's always the underrated thing, because we all focus on the offense and the stars and the dunking and all that stuff. And most of us, even me, I've seen a lot of hoops and stuff, and I tend to kind of ignore the defense and focus on the fun stuff. But for sure, and that again, that brings the focus back to the Warriors and how the change they made once Jimmy Butler got there, how they became a defensive team, much more of a defensive force, and that made them a legitimate playoff team, and will carry them into next year too, also. But the defense is big, and the Pacers I don't know, is the energy or whatever, it's the coaching or the scheme. I'm not sure what, but they are playing better defense than OKC.
I'm glad you mentioned the coaching too, Scott. Give me your take on Carlisle. I'm part of me is rooting for him. He's been around forever. He's done so many great things in his career. And do you kind of look at this right now as we're getting ready for Game 4 tonight in Indiana? They could take a 3-1 lead, man, and then OKC would be in trouble. But just your kind of review of Carlisle as a coach and how much he's had his hands in the success of this Indiana Pacers team.
Yeah, it's been huge. And you go back to his last championship, which was what, 21 or what year that was?
Something like that.
Yeah, when he did the same kind of thing, he took a young team that basically nobody was expecting to do anything, and he took them to the championship and won a title. And some coaches have a certain magic, have a certain touch, and apparently he knows what to do, what buttons to push, how to guide his team under a pressure situation like this, and also what moves to pull. So you got to say, since he's done it before, this is not a flash in the pan kind of thing. He's been around so long, and it's so respected. I've never talked to the guy. I don't remember even being in a situation like an interview situation. And to me, the NBA, there's so many head coaches in the NBA that are so impressive. When you sit down with them, like Michael Malone got fired. He just got fired. You sit down in his press conference or talk to him, you come away very impressed, man. And so many of the guys, that from the Doc Rivers and obviously Steve Kerr's and all this stuff, but the whole line of these guys, and he seems like that. He seems to be in that kind of mold. These super guys that are not like football coaches who kind of, that whole attitude of I know more than you do.
Yes.
You just have a personality and touch, which means to me a lot more than X's and O's, and it just kind of filters down through his team. And I don't know, he's got like a magic. I don't want to overstate it, but he's a great leader, and look what he's done, man.
Yep, impressive. Go ahead, Steve.
So impressive, Scott. I wanted to talk about the Steph Curry effect. Obviously, they've been out of the playoffs for a couple rounds now, but I read that Halliburton was watching Curry film before Game 3. I read that Nemhard studied Steph's step back three, and these guys are emulating Steph's game. And I think that is so incredible. And I just wanted you to comment on like the Curry effect that he is having on these younger players. And I feel like it's going to continue in that way. Do you agree?
Oh, 100% completely. And in fact, I was thinking before you even mentioned that, when I was thinking about coming on the show, that I was going to mention how the finals now kind of take me back to Steph. I keep thinking of Steph and how Shea, Gilgeous-Alexander, and all these guys are some great players out there, but none of them, and they're all younger and bigger than Steph and more athletic and all that stuff, but none of them still can do really what Steph can do at his best on a nightly basis, basically at age 37 or 38, whatever he is. What is he, 45? I don't know. But
he's approaching 50. Yeah.
But he's not like, I go back and look at Michael Jordan films or Kobe and stuff like that. It's like he's still there doing it, and they see him on a nightly basis. And I think it's had a huge effect on him. And I was just in fact, I'm working on a column now. What would have happened had Steve Kerr not taken the job back in 2014?
Oh,
and
wow.
He got into the Knicks instead. And I'm thinking, Steph Curry was already had emerged as a big star. I think he got his first All-Star team, and he was certainly out there as a great shooter. And he was teamed with Clay, obviously, and the Splash Brothers. But I truly believe that had Kerr not taken that job and brought his new offense in, which basically gave Steph more of a platform and maximized his gifts, that Steph would have been great. He would have made half dozen All-Star teams and all that stuff, but he wouldn't have done what he did, and they wouldn't have won the championships that they had won, and therefore they wouldn't have had the massive influence that they did on the league. Because that, once they dropped the hammer down that first year and the second year when they won 73 games in the regular season, the league, it scared the shit out of the league, and the league was saying, "Oh man, we got to do some of this." And that's why now you see sometimes too much of an extreme teams like the Celtics that's all they do is shoot threes.
Right.
But he's had a huge influence. And also, I'm glad to see that some of these guys are appreciated, not just the fact that Steph can shoot threes, so I'm going to shoot threes, but the artistry behind it, like the step back thing. Buddy Hield can shoot threes. A lot of guys can shoot threes, but to do it on the run, on the fly, on the move, and how to get open for those shots, and how to move, and that's a whole new art form. And these guys would be crazy not to at least try to do some of this stuff, like the power of step back, the pogo stick. I call it the pogo stick step back, where he just bounces back and flies in the air. Yeah, that's amazing, man. That's a signature move, and guys would be crazy not to try to do that.
Yeah.
No question. Right. And to follow up on that, Scott, Halliburton was watching film not only on Steph's shooting prowess, but also how Steph handles how physically teams defend him.
Yeah.
And Halliburton wanted to watch isolated Curry film because Halliburton feels like he's been getting defended very physically and wanted to see how Steph was handling that. And I feel like that's incredible because Steph never complains to the refs. He does get manhandled most games, and the fact that Halliburton is that smart to go back and watch film to see how he handled that, I feel like it's just the ultimate hat tip to Steph.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I'm still not sure why that. I'm not going to cry on Steph's behalf. Oh, poor Steph. But I still don't understand why the league and for Halliburton and all these guys, why the league allows the defenses to play tight defense, put hands on them and stuff like that. But to grab them around the waist, that's not defense. That's not basketball. That's a foul. Right. That kind of stuff. And then the grabbing of jerseys and the punch. Why they don't call some of this stuff? And I know they say, well, you can't call everything. Well, if you called it, they would not do it. They do what they're allowed to do. Players are very smart, and I don't know why they allow that. But yeah, what he does is never been done before. And so these guys are really smart, I think, to why sit down and look how does Curry handle this stuff?
Scott,
the fact that he does at his age, the fact that he still does without crying is truly amazing.
Oh, totally! It's a testament to him as a competitor and as just a fierce warrior on the court. Like he's not going to cry and moan to the ref. A lot of players do. Steph is not one of those guys. Now, Scott, you were talking a few minutes ago about Mike Malone. I'm still scratching my head over that. Like Mike Malone just took these guys to a championship. Okay, you're fired. And meanwhile, just looking around the NBA, look at the situation the Knicks have put themselves in. They fire Thibodeau. Now, keep in mind, he's the first coach to take the Knicks to an Eastern Conference final in 25 years. What does he get for that? He gets fired. So now the Knicks are getting, shut down across the board. They tried to talk to Minnesota. They tried to talk to Atlanta, on and on it goes. Nobody is going to have a conversation with the Knicks. I mean, it's the most Knicks thing I've seen in a long time to not have a plan after firing a very successful coach. I mean, what do you make of that whole situation, and how much will whoever the new coach is, like, how much is that going to disrupt what they've been building in New York? Yeah,
it's kind of typical Knicks dysfunction. Again, I was hearkening back to when Steve Kerr turned down that job, and it's never been right really since then. Right. And had he taken the job, it probably would have been suicide, because even he admits that he probably would have lasted a year or two and got fired. It's just a bad spot. But yeah, I saw a tweet by Woody Page, my old sports writing contemporary, and he said the Knicks have reached out to the Flint, the Flint. What is it? The name of the team? And to see if Jackie Moon is available.
Oh, yes, semi-pro. The Will Ferrell movie. Right. Yeah.
What's the name of the Flint team? I forget.
I
forget too. I know the name of the film is Semi-Pro. I forget the name of their squad.
Great movie, by the way.
It is. It really is.
That's how ludicrous it's gotten. And it's going on decades now. And this used to be the model team of the NBA back in the days with all the guys, man, when they had 6 or 7 all-world players, and they were all in sync, and everyone in sync. They had great coaches. I know, go back to the Red Holtzman days and all that stuff, which is the Stone Age. But yeah, it's just completely gone to hell. It's such a great sports town and all that stuff.
It is.
It's almost like they've been cursed. New York's been cursed.
A little bit. Yes. A little bit. Go ahead, Tony.
I just want to update the people in our chat, Scott, are helping us out here. The Flint Tropics.
The Tropics, right. Yeah. Great jerseys, by the way.
Very good. Great jerseys. Hey, before we let Scott go today, Tony, I did want to just ask you a couple questions, outside of sports, because we lost 2 musical giants this week. I mean, the Bay Area's own Sly Stone, Sly and the Family Stone. Scott, I got into them later in life, but once I dove into that catalog, I was like, oh my God. I mean, I love Sly and the Family Stone's music. I love everything he represented. And then Brian Wilson the day after. So, I mean, I know you were coming up during those years too, and just your kind of thoughts and memories to start with on Sly Stone.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Beleaguered California for producing that kind of music. The West Coast, man.
Yep.
That's pure West Coast, both ways. Pure Oakland and pure Southern Cal.
Yeah.
But Sly, he came along, and same with the Beach Boys in a way. He came along at a time when just my own personal music journey, I was beginning to appreciate the difference between, because I was exposed to a ton of music as a kid, because on Top 40 radio, then they played everything. They played jazz, they played soul, they play rock, they play stupid stuff, they play good stuff. So we had all kinds of stuff, and so you kind of just listen to everything that they threw at you because that's all we had. And then when like Sly came along, the Beach Boys, then I started appreciating the difference between music that was produced out of a factory to sell records and music that came from somebody's heart and soul. And that was big, man. It was I remember that Pet Sounds came out when I was, I think it was between high school and college. And me and my buddy sat down in his room and just played that over and over. And just, I'm not sure we knew why we liked it or what we were listening to, but it just really grabbed you,
Pet Sounds. I
mean,
mean,
anyway, but just the crazy harmonies and the music and the blending and the concept. It wasn't just get 6 studio musicians together and crank out 3 or 4 songs. It was, man, create this whole mood,
Yeah, and
teenager, wouldn't it be nice? And Sloop John B and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So many great tracks. And like you said, the harmonies and Brian Wilson, a true composer. Like he really was. He was a composer. And you mentioned Pet Sounds, Scott. All the stuff I've read and documentaries I've seen over the years about music. I've heard this time and time again that when Pet Sounds hit the scene, it rattled the Beatles. It rattled Bob Dylan because they were like, oh shit. This guy now, we got to deal with this guy. So they had to raise the bar. In fact, they say that Paul McCartney has said this multiple times, that one of the reasons Sgt. Pepper was as inspired as it was is as a result of him hearing Pet Sounds. He was like, we got to raise the bar, guys. We got to kind of like a great athlete, like Steph Curry, like Tony was saying, makes other guys raise their level. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It scared people and also enlightened them and inspired them. So and Sly was kind of the same way, it was really different. This stuff was not, it just didn't fit that I can remember any kind of mold or anything. It was just pure genius coming out of nowhere. And the sound grabbed you and uniqueness of it.
Did you get to see those guys at any point live, Scott? Did you see Sly or the Beach Boys?
No, I've never seen that. And I don't know how good the Beach Boys were live. I think especially at first, they were not great musicians and stuff.
You're right. Yeah.
That's what I've heard. And so maybe I would have loved to gone to one of the concerts anyway. And now they're the kind of shell of themselves, and politics have intruded and all this stuff like that. So
I know.
Sure I want to see them now, but it would have been cool. I saw them on TV a couple of times. They'd be on like the talk shows and stuff, the late night talk shows, and But it was enough to listen to them. This was back, and they came along right at the right time for me because it was sort of it's sort of beginning the era of weed music too.
Yeah, well,
you can appreciate, for instance, if you're smoking a little weed, Frankie Avalon, for instance, probably is not going to resonate. You didn't smoke weed and say, "Oh man,
no, not quite the same."
And Dean or something like that. But if you're listening to the Beach Boys or Sly and stuff like that, it's like, okay, now you can kind of get deeper into it. So
100%. Tony, go ahead, buddy.
Well, I just want to see if Scott, have you watched the Questlove documentary on Sly Stone that's come out?
I started seeing it on the summer of back there. I haven't seen the whole thing, but it's.
If I could just recommend to finish it, because it is fascinating. It's really well done, and it makes the fact that Questlove took the time and energy to make a documentary on Sly just tells me all I need to know about Sly, because I enjoy Questlove too. It's like, man, these two like just kindred spirits. I just really appreciated that, so I highly recommend it.
He's like the ultimate professor of black music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
other and stuff, and he's genius at this stuff.
Yeah, and one of the other cool things about that Sly Stone documentary, the new one, is that it's almost like a history lesson about the Bay Area too, because when Sly was starting in the late '60s, he talks at length about playing on Divisadero, playing in the Fillmore, and how that was still a black neighborhood back then. That was a black neighborhood with a lot of black music and black clubs, and how much things have changed over the years. But it's really, really cool to hear Sly kind of take you through that, and the other members of the band talking about, Vallejo back then in San Francisco and just what it was like, and all these cultures coming together over in the Haight-Ashbury. So really, really cool time. And thanks for your insights on that, Scott. And always, dude, we love having you on the show, Scott, but we're going to let you go and have a great weekend, and we'll be knocking on your door again down the road for sure.
All right,
I have one last question. I have one last question for Scott. Scott, do we have any hope for Willie Adamas? Is there any hope for Willie Adamas?
What happened there? That's been so unexpected. It's not over yet. It could change, but who would have predicted that? You know, you sign a guy that's injured, or you sign a guy that's really old, or we've seen that 1,000 times in every sport. They sign guys that are questionable and stuff like that. You know, like you sign Christian McCaffrey. Is he going to be okay? Is he going to work out? And Willie Dobbs would seem like a slam dunk to me.
Right.
Even if there was a little period of adjustment, or for whatever reason. But man, that slump came. What's the deal? It just makes no sense. It's one of the top mysteries of the baseball season for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's been frustrating, man. It's been frustrating. Scott, we love you, buddy. Have a great weekend and enjoy the finals tonight. We'll talk again soon, brother.
All right, Tony and Paulie. Appreciate you having me on. Keep it up. Keep rocking in the free world.
I appreciate you, Scott, very much. Scott Ostler, everybody, San Francisco Chron. That guy's a legend, by the way, right there. The guy's a freaking legend. He used to write for the LA Times and cover in the Met. Could you imagine, bro? What's your job? Oh, I'm a beat writer for the LA Lakers when they had Magic, Kareem, Cooper, Worthy. I mean, like, what an assignment every night going out to the Forum with Diane Cannon and Jack Nicholson. Must have been. He should write his own book someday. Scott, well, actually, he has. I should correct myself. He has. Yeah.
Paulie, deep thoughts, cheap shots, and bon mots
all day. All day long.
All day. He's probably my favorite sports writer of all time. And I love Bruce Jenkins too. They're like my 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, no question. It's like Beatles and Stones, those two guys. Yeah.
But the fact that you can go that deep, he's like the West Coast version of Mark Cannizzaro. Like you can talk just as deeply about music as you can about sports with Scott. And we got to get Mark on the show, by the way, talking about the Knicks job, by the way. We should do that next week. But
and
anyway,
Bruce Jenkins on too. To your point, that's on me. I got to reach out. I got to talk to Bruce. He's been really cool. In fact, he liked a couple of our tweets recently, Bruce Jenkins. So it's been too long. We got to talk to Bruce Jenkins soon. All right, Tony. Clock is ticking. What's up, Rags? I see you on the golf course. Thanks for listening today. What do you got, T?
I want to help out a couple of people in the chat. Yes, Clay Thompson did dress up as the Flint Tropics 1 year. Remember, he showed up at Oracle in the Flint Tropics. Yes. And then also, where the Questlove documentary is on Hulu. If you're looking to find it, it's on Hulu. So, and seriously, especially now that Sly has passed, give yourself a couple hours and dive in because it's fantastic viewing. And Questlove does a spectacular job.
Since you mentioned all this, Tony, why don't you reach into your little bag of tricks over there and get ready with the Shannon Kaler musical assignment open, because it's more or less time. I'm not kidding you guys. I got all my Sly Stone records ready. They're right here at my feet. So I do want to spend a couple of minutes. In fact, I promised to tell you the Joe Perry story about Sly Stone. So I'm going to deliver that too. It's going to take a couple of minutes. So Tony, let's dive in to this week's musical assignment, and then on the back end, we'll do a spot for Los D and the Metallica tickets as well. But the floor is yours.
Peep this, particle heads. PMP's weekly musical assignment begins now, right now.
Shannon Kaler on the mic, the Stone Foxes. Let's go.
Stone Foxes there. Oh, by the way, dude, other big news, other big music. I'm sorry. It's all coming back to me in flashes. Tony, the reuniting of a Murph and Mac will happen on the air. We're not so sure, but Murph and I have been asked to host Sound Summit again this year. So wow, that was quick. Jesus, bam, it just came right up. September 13th, we'll see you up on the mountain. If you've never been before, you got to get your ass up there. It's one of the most beautiful experiences. You talk about a specific Northern California, Bay Area, beautiful event that could only happen here at Sound Summit, my friends. And Murph and I have been hosting this thing for years, and Mike Nash is the promoter. He's a great friend of ours. And it just so happens, Tony, you know what's wild? Mike Nash already put this whole Sly Stone tribute together before he passed away. Now it's going to take on a whole other kind of levitated meanings, or elevated meaning rather. So really looking forward to this, really looking forward to the Sly Stone tribute up there. Tony's up there all the time. We'll see him. Noemi, you've been there. Yes, it is. It's at the Mountain Theater on Mount Tam. It is it's spectacular. I don't know what else to say. Tony, you've been there. Tell the people about it. Like it's incredible up there.
It's magical. It really is. It's like you're in a fairyland, because you're in the top of. It feels like you're on the top of the world. And I like to go to the top of the amphitheater and look down, because you can overlook the entire Bay, basically the entire Bay Area, and watch incredible music, man. I remember watching Tedeschi Trucks from the top of the amphitheater. Being like,
dude, one of the greatest. That was one of the greatest sets I've seen all the years. That was mind blowing.
Incredible. They played Midnight in Harlem, and I almost wept because it was just like I had goosebumps coming. I had the as they say, I had the feels, Paulie. So what's great too is that the crowd is like the perfect size too. It's not a massive crowd. You get music all day from like 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and you get like Michael Nash. He's tapped into the universe, man. The guy is just tapped in musically, sonically. Like the guy is just tapped in, and he always puts together a great lineup. So the fact that we're going to be able to see Cake and we're going to see a tribute to Sound Summit on the mountain. And by the way, if you haven't seen Cake before, they're fantastic. Go check out their version of War Pigs, by the way.
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. By the way, other great sets I've seen at Sound Summit would include Lucas Nelson. How about Los Lobos? How about Bob Weir and Phil Lesh? Okay, with Jim James from My Morning Jacket. 3 of them up there. It was so freaking hot that year. Jim James had a wet towel on his head while he was playing. I don't know if you remember that. Hot as hell. Yeah. So it's always a great. One year, dude, they trotted out Herbie Hancock, dude, jazz legend Herbie Hancock, fusion legend, and then I got Bob Weir sitting in with Herbie Hancock. There's all kinds of cool stuff happening. So hope to see you up there. Want to address one quick comment I saw on the board, Tony, and then we'll go to the assignment, which is from Pine Needle. Pine Needle goes, "Hey, Paulie, if I make it up to Sound Summit, how can I say hello to you without bothering you? I know you're going to be busy." Pine Needle, what are you kidding me, dude? You come up to me anytime. If I'm running, I will be running around with Murph. You'll see us literally running up and down the stairs because we introduce bands and then we run right back out to the seats because we like to watch. So, dude, just come on over and say hello. I'll be there all damn day, literally all day, start to finish. So stop by Pine Needle. I look forward to shaking your hand, man. And it's very casual, so don't even worry about it. Come over and say hi. Yeah.
People are asking about what it's Saturday the 13th. The 13th is a Saturday, so it's a perfect weekend day. And I saw Corinne's. She's like, "No, not the 13th. I'm going to be in New Orleans for the Niner game." It's like, "Hey, Corinne, you're doing just fine being in New Orleans for Niners." Way to spread. She's going to spread particles all over the Superdome for us, so that's great. But if you're in town, September 13th, get up to the top of the mountain because it is a day that you won't regret. It's a great day. Seriously.
You're really working that Mike Damone quote in a lot. It's a day you won't regret. By the way, you kiss me, you won't regret it. Tony, Scarlet Fire, I just wanted to shout this out real quick too, because you made me laugh. She goes, "Hey, the soon to be Mr. Scarlet Fire is a big cakehead." I like that too. It's Mr. Scarlet Fire to you, Buster. All right, Tony. Musical assignment. Listen, it's a heavy one this week because, like we just talked to Scott, we lost Sly Stone and we lost Brian Wilson on consecutive days. This reminds me of that period we went through. I think it was 2016 when we lost Glenn Frey, David Bowie, and Prince, like within 2 weeks or something. It was like, Jesus, make it stop. So I kind of feel like we're having one of those again. Tony, I'll start with my Sly Stone song, then I'll give you a Brian Wilson song, and then I'll give the floor over to you. And just shout Noemi out because I took a note from Noemi. Noemi contributing Dance to the Music from Sly and the Family Stone, no question. One of the things I love about that track is his trumpet player, Cindy. She would get up and start like barking orders to the audience. She'd be like pissed. She'd be like, "Dance to the music, get up and dance to the music." And then my favorite of all time, she would say, "Squares, go home." I love that. "Squares, go home. Get up and dance to the music." Cindy for life, dude, blowing trumpet, barking orders at the audience. And then she contributed Surfer Girl from the Beach Boys. Very nice, Noemi. Okay, Tony, I want to throw a couple of these at you real quick. My Sly Stone catalog, starting with Stand. This is a classic. This is one of the classic records. Stand. Highly recommended. Get your hands on that boy. This is my favorite now. There's a riot going on with the and then you got the collage of the Family Stone on the back. But this album blew my doors off. Literally blew my doors off. I'll never forget this. I was playing this in my living room. I had never heard the complete record before, and it actually stopped me in my tracks. I was like walking around the house. I was like, what the hell? It's a wall of funk just coming at you. So, and then
it really is.
Questlove's favorite, maybe the funkiest record he ever made.
Oh, you're going 3-pack. Look at you.
I'm just showing off the catalog. I'm just talking about the catalog.
Love it. Are you kidding me? Give me more.
So this is fresh. This is Questlove's favorite. Tony, this might be his funkiest outing right here.
I was listening to it this morning. It's funky as hell.
It's about time.
Oh.
And by the way, this was probably the last great album he made, Fresh. And then, only because Paul Stanley was talking about it the other day, Sly Stone live from the Fillmore East. And this is the set they did before Jimi Hendrix. This is Sly Stone opening for Jimi Hendrix. Can't say enough good things. If you want to hear what Sly and the Family Stone sound like live, this is the record you're going to want to check out, live from the Fillmore East. Highly recommend.
Nice.
So back in 2006, I was working on 107.7 The Bone, and I was doing a midday shift. And all of a sudden, my program director, Larry Sharp, bursts into the room and he goes, "Hey, Paulie, I just want to give you a heads up. Joe Perry's about to call you on the studio line." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, Joe Perry wants to talk to you." I was like, okay, let me clear the decks. So what was going on was, Tony, you and I were going to an Aerosmith gig in Oakland. And that same night, Steven Tyler and Joe Perry had committed to doing a Sly Stone tribute at the Grammys, which were happening in Los Angeles. So Joe Perry called, and I got to talk to Joe Perry twice, actually. I shook his hand once. This was a telephone call, the first time I talked to him. And I'm a monster Aerosmith fan. So you can imagine, like, I see the hotline flash, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Joe Perry calling me. Joe effing Perry, coolest guy on the planet. So I answer the phone and I put him on the air and we start talking, and he goes, "Hey man, listen, I just wanted to let you guys know we might be a little bit late getting on stage tonight, but that's because we're doing our Sly Stone tribute and we need to fly up right after that to get to Oakland." Tony, that's the show they opened with Helter Skelter, Aerosmith. Never seen them play that before. And when we got to the Aerosmith, I don't know if you remember this, they covered "I Want to Take You Higher" at that gig by Sly Stone. I don't think that's ever been done before or since, but they played "I Want to Take You Higher" at that gig. And I remember Joe Perry telling me, he was talking about how much he loves Sly Stone. And he said, "Hey," he goes, "one of the things I do every night before I go on stage is I play Sly Stone's greatest hits and I warm up and play along to his music before he walks on stage." Yeah, that's like his warm-up routine. I always thought that was so cool. So from Joe Perry to Paulie Mac to your ears, here we go. My first Sly Stone track is going to be what I think is maybe is fun to me. To my ears, it's one of the funkiest things he's ever done. I'm going to choose the song "Love and Hate." And hate spelled like Hate Ashbury, by the way. Not love and hate as an Ashbury. So from "There's a Riot Going On," I'm going to do "Love and Hate." And then I know I'm taking a lot of time here. Sorry, you guys. And then I'm going to go to Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys. I've chosen "Good Vibrations" because I love the track and I love the fact that he used a freaking theremin in that thing. That's like that thing plays with like electronic currents. It's the weirdest. Jimmy Page used one of those on stage with Led Zeppelin a lot. A theremin. That's what it's called, right? A theremin. And it's a really weird instrument. I have no idea how to work it or how to play it, but Brian Wilson used one in "Good Vibrations," and just the harmonies and the whole thing. I'm picking up good ball, baby. Like, if you listen to how much stuff musically is going on in that song, pretty freaking amazing. Tip of the cap to two geniuses who we lost. Sly Stone, rest in peace, and Brian Wilson, rest in peace. Tony, "Love and Hate," "Good Vibrations." Floor is yours, my man.
Dude, I love that. I'm gonna have a tough time following that up, Paulie. But first of all, I just want to give a couple of the people have chimed in with their musical assignment. And Dom Peralta says, "Sly and the Family Stone, I gotta go now," off of the live at Winchester Cathedral, 1967, Redwood City. Redwood City. He also says "Love City" off of the Woodstock live from 8/17/69.
That's an incredible set. Incredible, yeah.
It is. That I've heard that set. That's an incredible set too. And then the Beach Boys, "Help Me Rhonda." That's from Dom. Then we move on. We got Jerome. Jerome says he's got "If You Want Me to Stay" by Sly and the Family Stone, one of the smoothest, funkiest tunes of all time. And it's featured on the Dead President's soundtrack. That's great knowledge right there, Jerome. And then he says "God Only Knows" by the Beach Boys. Definitely one of the most beautiful songs ever written. Charles Neri on the chat, a buddy of mine, mentioned that Paul McCartney says it's the best song ever written. "God Only Knows," by the way. Paul McCartney said saying that. So
hey, and One last thing, Tony. Nikki D. Francesco checking in with thank you for letting me be myself again. Great choice, Nikki D. And then Tony, I always loved Sly Stone's take on racism and racial issues. Here's Sly Stone on racism. Ready? Here's Sly. He goes, don't hate the black, don't hate the white. If you get bitten, just hate the bite. Boom. Dude. That's all. Beautiful. That's Sly Stone on racism. Don't hate the black, don't hate the white. If you get bitten, hate the bite. Yeah.
I mean, the Sly and the Family Stone is a microcosm of what the world should be. I mean, if you really want to talk about it,
I agree. Yep.
Yeah. Mark Graves for the Beach Boys, he says, for Brian Wilson, he says, I get around. And he also says for Sly and the Family Stone, everyday people. Thank you, Mark, for that submission. Ray says, I think Ray said also love and hate with you, Paulie. He says love and hate.
Ray Goodman, buddy. Yep.
And then John Joseph says it's a family affair. He's
Dude, I've been waiting for it.
Affair.
It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Great choice, John. Great choice.
Scarlet Fire says for pure musical enjoyment, and for Brian Wilson, good vibrations and help me, Rhonda. And then she also says for Sly Stone, everyday people. She's also thrown in for everyday people. And she says also a quick story in 2012, 2013, she spent a lot of time in LA and would often see Brian Wilson shuffling through Holmby Park on weekend mornings. Nice. And she said she was accompanied by a caregiver and was clearly under the influence of some medication. But she says kind of like Chief in Cuckoo's Nest, just a big, sweet, giant ambling along.
Yeah. Jack Nicholson, put your hands up there, Chief. Put your hands up. We're going to put the ball in the hoop, Chief. Just stand them up there. I love Cuckoo's Nest, man. Great film.
So good. So thank you all for the musical assignment and for your submissions. And Paulie, I got to say, man, first of all, I'm going to go Beach Boys. For me, it's a tie between God Only Knows and I Get Around. And I just recently listened to I Get Around again because Brian Murphy, we were on a text thread, Paulie and I were with Murphy the other day, and we were throwing around our favorite Brian Wilson Beach Boys stuff. And then he sent us a version. Billy Joe and Green Day recorded a version of I Get Around, and Billy Joe said, we never got around to releasing this. We recorded this, but we never got around to releasing this. Here is Green Day doing I Get Around, and it reiterated to me how incredible of a song that is. Not just the vocals, but the writing of the song, the musicality, the chord progressions, the wacky, it reminds me so much of Stone Temple Pilots, the song Plush. The song sounds easy, but when you dive in, it is so complex, and the chord structure and the chords that are being played, it's like, whoa, what is going through Wilson's head in this when he was writing this? So I Get Around and God Only Knows are a tie for me. And I got to say, I feel like, well, you know what? Hang on. I'm going to do this to myself, Paulie, because I feel like I should do this.
Thank you.
I'm going into the confessional because, dude, shame on me. Like, slap me on the wrist with like a ruler, like Sister Esther, 7th grade teacher of mine. Yeah. I don't own Sly Stone on vinyl, and I don't own Beach Boys on vinyl. It's a shame on me. I'm admitting, and I need some work. I got some work to do.
Behind me right here, Tony. I'm not kidding. I'm not breaking your balls, but this one I have mounted on the wall. That's Sly Stone's greatest hits. That's a perfect place to start because you're getting you're getting basically you're getting all the hits, obviously, but it's just a good jumping off point. Once you start with this, I guarantee you're going to go deeper. And if you don't make a move, I'll buy it for you. I'm not kidding. No, this is a must. It doesn't make sense to me that you don't have any Sly Stone. I'm not going to break your balls, but you need to amend that. That needs to change.
Yeah, no, totally. And I'll be going to Vinyl Solution on 25th Avenue, I'm sure, this weekend to say hello to Tommy Tunes and pick up some Sly. And I really want to get that down.
You'll thank me next week. You'll be like, Paulie, thank you for pushing me into Sly. You trust me. Yeah,
dude, the last time I was there, they had like a deluxe edition of There's a Riot Going On, and I'm like, oh, it was like $60. I'm like, you know what, I should splurge, but I had 3 of the records in my hand. I'm like, all right, you know what, blah, blah. So anyways, I didn't get it that day. Shame on me. And then I really want Pet Sounds on vinyl too. I really want to get that because I was listening to that the other day, and I'm like, God, this would sound so good on vinyl with noise canceling headphones. Anyways, those are my Beach Boys tunes. And then for Sly, it's just very simple for me, Paulie. Boom, boom, bop, 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 boom, boom, bop, bop. I mean, that bass line is just absurd. It's seriously, and the rhythm section, if you go, and I think I saw Ray on the comments line saying all the layers to that song.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me be myself again. And by the way, just for fun, mice elf, like the two words on the track.
Yeah.
There's everything I love about that song. And for me, that is like a funk anthem for me. And it really kind of like so many other bass players. And I'm I play guitar, but the bands that I've played in have been, I play bass. And I love being the bottom of the music. I really love. And like one of the greatest compliments somebody ever gave me was, hey, I don't notice you when you play, but the minute you stopped playing, I noticed you weren't playing. And I'm like, that's exactly what I want to do. But then you got, what's his name from Sly? Larry, the bass player for Sly and the Family Stone.
Larry Stone. Yeah.
Dude, and he's popping that bass like it's just
yeah. And that had, you got to remember too, Tony, that was one of the first times that had been done. Guys were not popping like that until Sly came along. You could really make it a strong argument Sly and the Family Stone kind of invented funk. According to George Clinton, in Parliament Funkadelic, he said Sly Stone is the funkiest man on the planet. And if George Clinton is saying that, you got to kind of go with it. So, Tony, tremendous.
But in that documentary, sorry to cut you off, but real quick, in that documentary, Larry Graham talks about how he just was like experimenting with the sound, and then it kind of took off. And people were approaching him saying, "Oh, show me what you were doing on that track." Yeah. And so that's why that track is so important in just because I love funk music. I mean, if you,
I know you do. That's why you really got to dive into some Sly Stone. You'll be a much better person after you listen to a few Sly Stone records. Tony, I feel you on the funk of. I want to thank you for letting me be myself. Thank you. And I get around, and God only knows. Good vibrations from me, love and hate also from me. I'm going to update the playlist in just a couple of minutes. And I would say this final word about Sly Stone, and I know this sounds like kind of like I'm getting carried away. I actually think the song Everyday People would be like, that would make a great national anthem for the, I'm dead serious. I'm not even kidding. If you actually listen to what he's saying in that song, it's like, there's the skinny one who doesn't like the fat one, who doesn't like the black one, who doesn't like the white one, who doesn't like the green one, who doesn't like the, and then Sly busts it all up by coming in and going, we gotta live together. And that's the thing, we gotta live together. So that, anyways, I think Everyday People is I truly mean this, one of the greatest songs ever written when you listen to the message he's transmitting there. Thank you, Tony. Great choice. Escobar the Third. Dance to the Music has a special place in my heart. I played the lead trumpet. Nice, dude. Nice. Hey, Escobar, you're in good company. You know who else played lead trumpet in our high school band? I'm not kidding. The one and only Rags, captain of the football team, Rags. That's why nobody would make fun of us being in the band, because Rags would like throw him through a plate glass window. But he was a trumpet player too. Escobar, I'm not surprised, man. I love that you played some trumpet. And shout out to Cindy's trumpet in Sly and the Family Stone. She's the best. Get up and dance to the music. Squares, go home.
Yes. Oh man, it's just. And by the way, Escobar, well done getting into Longbridge Pizza yesterday. He sent us pictures of him at Longbridge. He posted them on Twitter. Nice work getting into Longbridge Pizza, dude.
Hey,
thanks for
Escobar. I'll see you next Sunday at Metallica. And speaking of, the moment has come. Time to give tickets away. And again, kids, we'll give the final pair away on Monday. We're not going to wait around. We're going to do that on Monday. So we'll give a pair today. Last pair goes on Monday. Tony, grab a pen, my man, and let me give you my specifications, because I got
I'm just playing the sports flash to intro the contest, because I feel like this needs some kind of separator, some kind of thing to draw attention to it, because we're giving away Metallica tickets for the 2 shows next weekend, which are going to be fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, no question. It should be really, really cool. Hold on. Where is my hold on. Damn it. I can't find my
You looking for Principal Paulie, or are you looking for Satan? Who are you looking for?
Principal. Oh, here it is. Hold on. I'd like to make an announcement. The Metallica ticket giveaway is upon us in 3, in 2, in 1. Okay, I don't know, the little effect there. All right, Tony.
Dude, you might do a Mark Ratner at some point. Smoking's upstairs to your left. Smoking's upstairs
to your left. Smoking's upstairs. By the way, I love when Mark Ratner is talking to Damone, and he goes, all the action's on the other side of the mall. And they show, I don't know what that means. All the action's on the other side. All right, hold on. All right, guys, here we go. It is a Friday. We're loose. We're feeling good. Sly Stone's music is in the air. Good vibrations are in the air. Here we go.
Hold on, Paulie. Just a reminder, after you read the lyrics, you cannot put in the chat the answer. You must email us pauliespod@gmail.com. I'll even put the email address up here. pauliespod@gmail.com is where you need to email us the answer. And the first person to email the correct answer will win the ticket. So far, we have John Joseph, we have Escobar, and we have Aaron Cask. Those are the first three. Okay, so good luck, everybody.
Yeah, they're all gangsters. They're all PMP VIPs, and you have to be a VIP to win, by the way. We got to draw the line somewhere. So if you're a VIP, you qualify to win. If you post the answer on the board, I'll disqualify your A. Okay. I hate to be a disciplinary guy, and because I hate rules and regulations, I'm the kind of guy that enjoys breaking them. But just for the sake of keeping this thing fair and square, no answers on the board. Thank you. Yes, Steve.
Rules are there ain't no rules.
Dude, by the way, it reminds me of in the dance scene of Grease when she says, "Those that don't follow the rules will be disqualified."
And then you know what Rizzo said?
That leaves us out.
Poor Rizzo. How about when you're at the carnival? Hey, Rizzo's knocked up. Hey, Rizzo's knocked up. And it just gets passed around the entire fair within 30 seconds. Yeah.
Rizzo's got a bun in the oven.
How about Rizzo coming down from the Ferris wheel with Kaniki standing there in his leather jacket? She's like, "I'm not pregnant." And then they just start making out again. All right, let's make another baby. All right. Aaron Cask is a super. Throw him up there real quick, Tony. I want to give him some love real quick. Aaron Cask.
Right on.
Dude.
Oh, dude.
You're dude. I love the generosity, and I will see you at Metallica as well, Aaron. Thank you, my brother. And I do listen to Black Sabbath. Yes, I do. Okay.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, brother.
Always. All right, kids, here we go. The moment has come. I'm going to read the lyrics. You send Tony the correct answer to the show email. We'll announce the winner on Monday. Here we go. Great old one, forbidden sight. He searches. Hunter of the shadows is rising. Immortal. In madness you dwell. Bam! If you know Metallica. One last time. Speed reading. Great old one, forbidden sight. He searches. Hunter of the shadows is rising. Immortal. In madness you dwell. One of my favorites, by the way. One of my favorites. Okay. Tony, a word on Los D, and then we begin the weekend wholeheartedly. So listen, Los, definitely last but not least is our great friend Carlos de la Fuente. In fact, you know what, Tony? How about this, dude? How about we try something different? First of all, I'll give you some specifications. Call Carlos. He's a money lender. He is a mortgage broker. He does all. In fact, his specialty is HELOC loans. He's got a great new partner now with a new lender. No appraisal fees anytime, no escrow, no title fees, and he will give you the very fast closing. And you can reach out to Carlos. Just have a conversation with where you are in life financially, where you'd like to be, and let him go to work for you. 925-250-4894. Carlos at myflexnow.com. Sometimes, Tony, I think it's more effective to hear it from the man himself. And we have a brand new kind of spot I want to share. This is Carlos from Carlos directly to you guys, Tony.
Yes, Carlos gave us the discretion to say, "Hey guys, use this if you want." And I said, Paulie and I both said, "Hell yes." Anytime we can get Los on the show, which we're going to get him on the show, by the way, again, to do another live hit with us probably next week or the week after. But here is Los himself. Take it from the man himself. And then I want to read a review on Los after the fact on the other side.
Sure.
So here is Los right here.
You about a loan program that's been around for a little while, and that's the down payment assistant.
I'm going to start that over probably because it started cut off. I want to give that the very beginning. I want to do Los proper. I don't want to do. Here we go. Come on. Don't be fussy. Maybe I'm fussy.
Flex funding. I'm on here to share some real exciting news with you about a loan program that's been around for a little while, and that's the down payment assistant program. Before, that program had a few flaws to it, like it had income restrictions. If you made a certain amount of money, you didn't qualify. It had high credit scores that you needed to qualify for that program, namely about 700. You could only buy one unit. And you had high interest rates on that second mortgage that, were kind of making the payment a little bit difficult, and you had to pay back. What if I told you that A new program is out now where you can buy up to 4 units. You can buy and live in one unit and rent out the other ones for passive income. You only need a 620 credit score to qualify for. You can make as much money as possible. There's no income restrictions. And here's the best part. They give you a grant of up to 3% for the down payment. As long as you make 6 mortgage payments after you buy the house, you don't need to pay that grant back. Let me repeat that. You make 6 months mortgage payments, you do not need to pay that grant back. Free money. Contact your boy.
Dude, I'm sold.
Come
I'm
on.
about to call myself. I want some of that, dude. I want to make 6 months and then not have to pay that back. Carlos, thank you so much, dude. You know what, Tony? I want Carlos back on the show. Let's put him on next Tuesday and let him speak about what's new, because he always does. He always has like new offers, new wrinkles in his services, like that one right there, dude. That is one of the more appealing invites I think he could offer. So if you are in a situation where that's triggering some interest, definitely reach out to Carlos and have a conversation. He's a super cool guy, really easy to talk to. Don't be I'm easily intimidated when it comes to financial matters because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I need a guy like Carlos in my life to guide me through, and I bet you do as well. 925-250-4894. As we get closer to football, which is only a couple of months away now, we're going to have a couple of sit-down lunches with Carlos, and we will invite some listeners down, and we'll all have like a very easy, free-flowing conversation. I look forward to that, Tony.
So, Paulie, I just want to give again. We just heard from Los D himself. People have heard from you and me, but I also want to give a couple of reviews. This is from a woman named Darcy, and she says Carlos helped us get a second mortgage on our investment property. He used a new company and process. It was fast, easy, and painless. We paid nothing up front and didn't even have to do an appraisal. We highly recommend this to anyone looking for similar funding, and extremely recommend Carlos for anyone looking for help getting funding. Carlos has helped us many times in the past, and he has fostered a friendly relationship with us to bring us back again and again to help us grow our fortune. That's from Darcy. One more, Paulie. This is from Nancy. She says, or Nancy Eaton. She says, working with Carlos de la Fuente doesn't feel like work. You want help securing a loan, carrying the mental and emotional weight of all you expect lies ahead. You approach Carlos. He will help you. After he gets to know you and accesses your needs, he reaches out and takes the weight off of you and lets you know that he's got this. In an organized and timely fashion, he lays out the steps he will take and the steps you will be taking. He's easy to reach. He's virtually by your side from start to finish. Our experience could have been a major headache. Carlos made it downright enjoyable. When he says he's got this, you can trust him completely. How about that?
No doubt. And Cody Marchetti checking in. Damn, Los is a gangster. That's one of a hell of a financial deal. You're right, Cody. And he is a gangster in all the best possible ways. Hey, thank you, Carlos. We freaking love you, man. We'll see you soon, and we'll get you on the air on Tuesday. You can talk to the people directly. I want everybody to have a great weekend. By the way, early happy Father's Day if you're a dad out there, or if you're going to see your dad. Good on you. Be good to your old man. And if you are a father, hey, man, throw your feet up, play some golf, have a cold beer, whatever you want to do to enjoy yourselves. You've earned it. Believe me, you've earned it. Look at Creative Tony, head on a swivel. He's coaching. He's doing radio shows. He's driving around. Being a dad is a full-time, dude. Believe me, I've done it. I got 2 of my own. I know what goes on. So happy Father's Day, everybody. And Dom and Joe Schmo and the Nutter and Noemi. And dude, I saw the Aspiring Botanist cruise by today. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
Everybody, thanks for supporting the show. We got big things in the works, too, that can't be revealed yet. But again, like Robert Plant says in Kashmir, all will be revealed.
Come on.
I didn't expect to go to an impromptu Kashmir jam, but that's exactly what just happened. Escobar III, you're damn right. Beat LA. Rags. Rags says, go ahead and treat yourself to a session with the octopus as well. Hey, that's on the menu. You want to get your octopus? How about the 1 potato, 2 potato, Rags? Is that available? And then there's the reverse. Rags he's got all kinds. All right, you guys, Professor Diamond David Lee Roth would like to dismiss the class. Let's let the kids go home.
First of all,
Class dismissed.
Hells yeah.
there we go. And Ray Goodman. Here we go.
Yeah, Ray playing music like a gangster, man. Ray Goodman. I played with him last weekend at Water Bar. He was great. He says my band will be at Dale Vino in Pittsburgh from 2 to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Ray, have a great gig, my brother. Go kill him. I'm sure you will. Creative Tony, sorry to talk over the drone, but I wanted to talk to Ray, and I'll give you the final word today, T. Wrap it up, kid.
Go Paulie's Pacers. Go Logan Webb tonight, and go Giants beat LA. I'm very excited for tonight's game, Giants Dodgers. And by the way, double barrel action with Paulie's Pacers and the Dodgers Giants from Chavez Ravine.
Yeah.
I want to say thanks again to Scott Ostler for taking the time to join us. We love Scott. Good luck to those who entered the Metallica ticket contest, and thanks again to our very, very kind sponsors, Los D at Flex Funding, Carlos De La Fuente, Dr. Young and the Young Dental Group, and of course Neil Donardi and Andrew Markoulis of Young Longbridge People. I saw real quick, Paulie, that Andrew said he can't make Sound Summit because that's the day his child will be born. So
Yes.
that's a pretty good excuse, man. But that's great stuff. Great news. So duck the Fodgers. And that's all I got, Paulie. Happy Father's Day to you, Paulie. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Have a wonderful weekend, and look forward to Monday, 11 a.m. We'll be rocking.
Hey, tell your dad, Big Ed, I said happy Father's Day too. Tony's got one of the greats out there. His old man, he's a classic. I love him. So tell your dad I said happy Father's Day to you too. And like Sly Stone said, we got to live together. So let's be cool to each other. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back at 11 on Monday. Thanks for stopping by, you guys. We freaking love you, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Peace, y'all.